before 2023 was pretty much a normal life. Like I said, everyday things, work, school, sports, after school activities, things like that were what we did on a normal basis. The beginning of 2023 happened and it changed all that.
It was about 2 weeks after I turned 40. I was having some bleeding and I saw a few doctors, and by the time I saw the specialist, he had determined that it was most definitely cancer, rectal cancer. That was in January of 23, and everything has been a whirlwind ever since. That entire year is still a blur to me. When I first saw the oncologist, it was very overwhelming. And the one thing that stood out was how to tell our kids and what to do. That was where I was kind of lost. And they had recommended Wonders and Worries. So I reached out to them, and it has been such a relief. That was one thing that I didn't have to worry about. Our youngest, Sawyer, he's 8 now, bright boy.
Loves his Legos.
Loves Legos, loves sports. Our oldest, he's 13 now. He is very funny, very energetic.
Great at music. Telling them was hard. It was still the early stages, so obviously
there was a lot we just didn't know.
We didn't know at the time.
At the time, they were 6 and 11, so their level of understanding was completely different. And that's the great thing about Wonders and Worries, is that they did it on an individual, case-by-case basis. They did it one child at a time for an hour each. So if they had questions, they can answer them in an age-appropriate way and teach them in an age-appropriate way on what is cancer, what's happening to mom's body, how can you help at home? What are some things that you can help when mom feels really tired or feels sick? How can you help mom and dad? How can you just help around the house? Things that it didn't scare them. And that was our fear, is it's going to scare them. We don't want that.
And from them not having pretty much a parent for an entire year, it's a lot. It completely changed our lives for that entire year. You never think it's going to affect you. You always think, oh, that's somebody else. And then it did.
I was very stressed out because at the time, I didn't know what was my mom going through. I was like, what is going on to my mom? I was just worried. Then when I went there, we learned about it. It was pretty fun.
Ethan was like tearing a little because
I didn't understand, and I was extremely scared, but I'm the type of person who needs to understand things to decompress. It helped a lot.
So with my youngest, they went as basic as what a blood cell is and what their functions are, and he would come out with the projects with everything, a fun project that you would see in school. My oldest, the child life specialist, told him that I would be getting an ostomy throughout one of my procedures. So she actually taught him what an ostomy was, how to help changing it, just to not be scared when you see that, what it is. And it just made him more comfortable and less fearful maybe to be around me or to understand why I had what I did.
For Wonders and Worries to help them get through this was amazing.
My most recent friend had a 17-year-old boy, older teenager. Unfortunately, she didn't survive it. And we were all very concerned about her kids, or her child, and her husband. The first thing I did was reach out to the child life specialist and Wonders and Worries. I said, this is what just happened. They're kind of lost. Can you help them? And this was after they had gone through all the counseling and everything. They said, yes, absolutely. We'll reach out to them and just kind of give them, like, what do they do now? And they were like immediately on it.
I would honestly thank you to the child life specialists that helped my kids is not enough. I wish there was more I could do, more I can help with. What they did and how they helped them, it was a huge help.
We're happy, we're chaotic, and just everything is wonderful and crazy, and that's how life should be. Something I would tell the child life specialist would be, I don't know how to thank her enough for what she did for my kids. I'll never forget